Happening now, a teen seriously hurt in Falconer, star-flighted to a Buffalo hospital. New York's Attorney General resigns amid accusations. Sunny skies today, details coming up in your First Defense weather forecast. And the city's revitalization continues with a Maryland developer. Join us with your comments in our new and noteworthy segment, That's News Now, for Tuesday, May 8th, 2018.
Live and on demand from the Chautauqua Audio Works studios in downtown Jamestown. This is your source for breaking news. WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us. Good Tuesday to you. I'm Justin Gould. A live look at our 3rd Street Skycam outside of our downtown studios, where right now it is 65 degrees and sunny. A rundown of all the stories that we have are coming up in just a moment. But first, a look at our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is on hiatus today, and I am taking over through much of the weather, and actually for some reason our weather computer is being a jerk. There it goes. So I wanted to show you the current conditions over downtown Jamestown. You can come to me on the wall here, Andy. I figured it out, Dakota. You would be so proud of me. So it is 65 degrees right now looking over downtown Jamestown, and it's actually going to shape up to be a pretty nice day here in the southern tier. 72 is our high in the city of Jamestown. As you head to the North County, it's a little chillier along the lake with a high of 69 degrees, but beautiful, beautiful skies, although enjoy it while it lasts, because coming up a little bit later on, we'll be talking about rain in the forecast. But on to our top story. Ellicott police say a 16-year-old injured in a Monday evening vehicle accident wasn't struck, but rather had fallen off of an SUV that had just pulled out of a driveway. The teen hit his head on the curb near the corner of Elmwood Avenue and South Work Street. Ellicott police report he was treated on the scene by the Falconer Fire Department and then star-flighted to a Buffalo hospital. Police say they've spoken to the victim's family and learned that the victim may be released from the hospital sometime this week. The 17-year-old driver was not injured and has reportedly cooperated with investigators. Anyone who may have witnessed the accident is encouraged to contact the Town of Ellicott Police at 665-7083. The number again is 665-7083. And bombshell allegations made by 4 women on Monday that paint New York's Attorney General as a hypocrite who was inclined to become physically violent with them may have ended his tenure as AG. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman resigned Monday after a report in the New Yorker accused him of assaulting multiple women. In Monday's report, 4 women say the outspoken Democrat was physically violent with them. 2 of the women said the violence happened while they were in romantic relationships with the AG. Governor Andrew Cuomo called for his for him to resign last night. A Manhattan district attorney says they have opened an investigation into Schneiderman's alleged actions. Now, Schneiderman has been a vocal proponent of the Me Too movement, even bringing legal action against film producer Harvey Weinstein. The AG has denied the allegations on social media. We will continue our coverage at WNYNewsNow.com. In other news, Jamestown City Council members received first-hand information Monday night about causes of deer overpopulation in urban areas. Around 15 residents, city council members, and other officials listened to an hour-long presentation by a wildlife biologist from the State Department of Environmental Conservation. The biologist saying there's no simple solution to reducing the number of deer in the city, and that community members must come together to recognize and identify specific problems. Examples of that would be property damage or vehicle accidents caused by deer. City Council President Marie Karuba chiming in, saying that the city will digest the information presented last night and continue to explore options. They plan to provide an update on possible solutions in the coming weeks. And a Maryland developer tells WNY News Now that he has purchased the Forum building in downtown Jamestown and that he's also acquired paintings that used to belong to the Jamestown Prendergast Library. Our Ryan Hedrick with the report.
That building right over my right shoulder at 201 North Main Street was once Chautauqua County's first ever bank. Erected in 1831, it burnt down to the ground in 1861. Then in 1927, it was re-erected. Here in 2018, WNY News Now has learned that Maryland developer Arnold Duke is making yet another investment in the city of Jamestown. He has purchased that building, and city inspectors will be here on Monday to make sure that building is structurally sound. If everything goes according to plan, Arnold Duke tells WNY News Now that he's going to have a big party on Friday night to unveil the paintings that he purchased from a New York art museum, paintings from the Prendergast Library. He said he just wants to show the residents of Jamestown that the paintings aren't going anywhere. We'll follow up as this is a developing story first reported by WNY News Now. Reporting from the corner of East 2nd and North Main Streets in the city, I'm Ryan Hedrick, WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
All right, Ryan, thank you. The owner will host a party celebrating the purchase Friday at 6 p.m. and a separate event for the general public Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. showcasing the building and the Prendergast paintings. The Kennedy Center stripped Bill Cosby of several honors. The center announced it Monday that they were rescinding 2 awards given to the comedian. The honors were Artistic Achievement Awards. Cosby received the Kennedy Center honors back in 1998 and the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in 2009. Last month, he was found guilty in a retrial on sexual assault charges. Cosby now faces the possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison. In a statement, the Kennedy Center said, as a result of Mr. Cosby's recent criminal conviction, the board concluded that his actions have overshadowed the very career accomplishments these distinctions from the Kennedy Center intended to recognize. Coming up on the other side, we're hearing from you. Let us know what you think about these stories in the comments down below in our new and noteworthy segment right after this.
Where coverage comes first. You're watching WNY News Now.
The Fitness Bunker in Lakewood is a locally owned and operated club that cares about your health and wellness. They invest in it. Right now, $16 for 16 days will get you in the door. Lose 4 pounds, your next month is on them. Try a green zone class and maximize your performance. Hot yoga, 24/7 access. Simply walk into Fitness Bunker in Lakewood right now on Summit Avenue. Make an investment in your health and wellness. Fitness Bunker in Lakewood. Find them on Facebook. The weather is heating up, and so are the deals at Express Bike and Auto, right here in Jamestown, located at 1761 Foot Avenue Extension. They are your one-stop shop for all of your vehicle, ATV, and motorcycle needs. They even sell vehicles, and guess what? Financing is available. So what are you waiting for? Get to Express Bike and Auto right here in Jamestown at 1761 Foot Avenue Extension now.
And welcome back to News Now. It is time for our new and noteworthy segment on this very beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Our Roy Polero joins us in studio. We got a multitude of things going on right now. We are monitoring a Tom Reed conference. Just to let everyone know, it's a phone conference that the congressman generally hosts throughout, I believe, at least once a month. Yeah. They do this conference. So Ryan Hedrick is actually in the newsroom monitoring that. We have a live feed that we can listen in. It's nothing visual.
And he's going to be asking questions.
Yeah, he will be asking questions as well. So when Ryan gets to that, we'll bring that to you. But we wanted to talk about the deer problem that the city of Jamestown is facing right now, and really that's kind of we all jokingly say that each of us has a strong suit, right? Ryan has his issues that he's very passionate about. I do, and as do you. So last night the city council held a DEC session. They
biologists came in.
Hosted by Jamestown Police Chief Harry Snellings, and we all got a chance to kind of listen to why these fuzzy little creatures here generally come into the city. Why are they here in such big numbers?
Well, part of it is the change in the environment that they live in. A lot of it has to do with food supply and cover, and it also depends on the weather.
Right.
But it also depends a lot on two other issues that don't get discussed, and I wish they would. People in the rural areas posting their property didn't allow people to come on and manage a deer herd. So if you can't hunt it, you can't harvest them. The other thing is construction. When you're putting up economic boosters like hotels and things like that, you're eating into their environment.
Right.
If you come into my living room, tear my house down, and put up a hotel, I've been displaced.
Right.
And it is a problem because predators, coyotes, people bring in predators and then they want to get rid of them.
Right.
If they're having a cow about the deer, what are they going to do if the DEC brings in mountain lions and cougars and coyotes?
Right, and that's difficult to do in the city of Jamestown. I know one of the biggest things was how do you get rid of them, because you can't discharge a weapon in the city.
No.
And I know Councilman Andrew Liuzzo, who kind of brought this to the forefront just recently. They've had discussions before, but just now kind of adding fuel to the fire once again, reigniting that conversation. He proposed some sort of bow hunting.
Archery is, when it's done properly, archery is a very effective. I enjoyed archery hunting a lot more than shotgun hunting myself. As a former New York State hunter safety instructor, I know that at least historically, there were fewer accidents and fewer misplaced incidences in archery hunting than there were in rifle and shotgun. But I'm seeing deer now.
Look at that picture. That's nuts.
Absolutely. And I never see that when I'm out in the woods. The thing is, it's more of a problem now in my mind because you used to always see them on the outskirts of town.
Right.
On the edges up in your neighborhood and things like that. But now I'm seeing them on Crescent Street. I've seen them on Lower Windsor. So they're coming in to the urban center, not just the fringes. And it is a problem because I just looked up some things. You've got to worry about Lyme disease.
Right.
But 70,000 deer are hit a year in New York at an average of $4,000 car damage per hit. And they cost $59 million in crop damage last year.
Wow.
So you've got to, from an economic standpoint,
Right.
It's not an environmental one. You've got to manage the herd. You've got to thin the herd. And if you don't, nature will.
Right. And last night, a lot of people, at least at the meeting, seemed to agree that they should do some sort of hunting, some sort of control.
Yeah.
I know on our Facebook Live, if you want to see the whole meeting, you can go back and look at that. We streamed the whole presentation. A lot of people were chiming in saying that no, they would not allow hunting on their property because they like the creatures, right?
So
they
then when the deer eat your garden and your shrubs and all
Right.
your stuff and there's deer poop all over your yard, yay.
right, absolutely.
Don't complain then.
I know.
And part of it is that there are so many people who are against hunting to begin with.
Right.
And they don't
Kinda brings that
understand,
stigma.
if it weren't for hunters through the Robertson-Pittman Act, there wouldn't be any deer in Chautauqua County.
Right.
The Robertson-Pittman Act, and a lot of people don't know about it, I think it was in 1932, a percentage of the money we pay for our licenses, our ammo, our hunting gear, goes to wildlife preservation. It goes to managing the
Right.
turkey flocks and
Right.
the deer herds and fishing and all
Right.
those things. So the hunters are not the bad guys in this case.
Right. And I'm trying to pull up the comments here. I know that a lot of people are chiming in. I did see Gary's comment. I'm just trying to pull it up on our system so we can show you if
Yeah.
you're happening to not watch on Facebook Live, if you're watching on our YouTube channel. But I know Gary say the deer are, that the construction is possibly pushing the deer out. And absolutely, which is exactly what you said.
Well, is that Gary I? Is his last
Gary
name?
Course.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah. Okay, I do have his comment now just to let the control room know. And he also says he's seen them along 3rd Street near the ice arena. That's That's
yeah.
crazy.
I have a
believe
friend who said he was driving back there. He had been out of town, and he got back to town at like 4 in the morning, and there were deer out there in the parking lot across from the ice arena, where the old Yellow Goose used to be or
Yeah.
whatever. And he was just amazed that they were that far into the city. I think the problem is people have what we call the Bambi syndrome. The deer isn't talking to itself and saying, I think I'll go over there and visit them for a
Right.
while. It's looking for food. And it's illegal to feed them, but even if any nature thing that you get involved with, you impact it. If you're feeding deer or you're feeding birds, once you start, you have to do it constantly because they become dependent on that as their food source. So if you started feeding them and then you quit in the summer, they're still going to be there, and then they're not going to be eating as much.
Absolutely, and I do see, I know we have to get to our full forecast in just a moment, but a lot of people are also talking about that accident in Falconer last night,
Yeah.
where a 16-year-old boy was star-flighted from Falconer Park. We're going to have much more on that. And we're still monitoring Congressman Tom Reed. I know our Ryan Hedrick wants to ask him about Attorney General Eric Schneiderman.
I was just saying, we're certainly
Right.
to have more on Schneiderman.
Certainly,
They've
absolutely.
named a replacement as acting AG.
Right,
so.
and we have all those stories now on WNYNewsNow.com. When we come back, I'm in for Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, so hold on.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
WNY News Now is sponsored by Chautauqua Audio Works, 3335 South Roberts Road in Fredonia. More than a music store. Call 679-4333. Call now, 679-4333. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
That makes it
Now, your first defense forecast with Dakota Hunter.
And Justin Gould in for Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. We hope he feels better and is able to come back. I wanted to start with the Lakewood Skycam. If you're headed out to Wally World today to do some shopping, absolutely beautiful blue skies, and really, that's pretty much the story over the next 24 to 48 hours here in Western New York. Although, hold on, because if you're a severe weather fan, it's coming back. So today, around 1 o'clock, almost 70 degrees with a good amount of sunshine as we head throughout much of the afternoon. And we will warm up to a high near 72 around 4 o'clock this afternoon. And really, you'll get to catch some rays, some vitamin D, stuff that we don't always get here in Western New York. Although tonight, things really do cool down. So if you sleep with your window open, just a heads up, we will be bottoming out around 55 degrees with a little breeze. So it will be a chilly evening. Wanted to get to that zone forecast for you across much of Chautauqua County. Tomorrow, temperatures are on the rise. We'll be in the mid to upper 70s as we creep into the afternoon with a lot of sunshine on tap for tomorrow. And you could, as we head towards the lake shore, it is going to be a little cooler, but still 76. You'll take it in Brockton. As we head on over to Cattaraugus County, 78 for our friends in Randolph, same in Olean, and really Salamanca could almost touch 80 degrees. Summertime is here, ladies and gentlemen. It is here. The next 7 of your life. On Thursday, that's when we get into that rain chance. We do cool down as a front moves across the region. highs in the low 70s, and it will definitely be a soaking rain as we head throughout the afternoon. We remain cool on Friday, and we slowly warm up into the weekend. If you're looking for a bonfire on Saturday night, I think there is still a burn ban in effect, so you'll want to be mindful of that. And it will be a little wet with highs in the upper 70s. More of our discussion about the area's news is coming up right after this.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's QuickSolutionsUSA.com. Where coverage comes first. You're watching WNY News Now.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Everything's made fresh here. We love to be outside, and it's nice inside if it's raining, so we have a choice.
Locals and non-locals agree that the Main Landing is quickly becoming a destination.
It's just so casual, and just the food is amazing.
I love the hamburgers.
But I really like the tuna I had.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at PhoneZoneShop.com. You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I just love to be with the dogs, and I like to do them one at a time. They don't wait for 5 hours in my shop. We have full groom, which includes everything from A to Z, nails, of course brushing, any trimming that needs to be done. I do offer teeth brushing, which is a little extra. So if he takes me 2 hours, it's $40. If he takes me 3 hours, I still keep it down. As long as the dog comes back happy and not at the door, I'm happy.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Welcome back to News Now on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Sunny skies, Rory B hanging out with you. We're going to take a look at your comments here on social media. Rory, it seems like a lot of people are kind of arguing about the accident in Falconer last night, the incident, I guess I should say, instead of, because we don't 100% know whether it was an accident or not. Obviously, we can't tell what people were thinking, but a lot of people are going back and forth about the stupid things that you do as a kid.
Well, I told
We
you
all
earlier in the
can
newsroom,
attest
we're all
to that.
rocket scientists at 16.
Oh, gosh,
You know,
yes.
And, we don't know, so we don't know if it was just a
Right.
kid thing. I mean, I know at 16 you're indestructible and you know everything.
right.
And at 35 you're thinking, what was I thinking?
Right, like,
So, I just hope that the young man is okay.
me too.
I do appreciate the fact that we confirmed it was a male.
Right,
Because there was speculation.
right, a little bit.
Sometimes painful lessons.
Right. And it's really scary, you know, my heart goes out to the parents of
Yes.
that, right?
Oh, yes.
Because a lot of parents, I'll talk to my mom, you know, you fear the absolute worst.
Of course.
And when that comes to light, I mean, it's just, you know, unspeakable feelings are going through your mind, and really, you know, seeing last night, it was startling. You know, being there covering the story. I mean, I hate going to things like this. I really do.
Oh, I know.
But at the same time, we know it's not a perfect world, and kids are going to be kids, and you know, we've all done stupid things.
Well, I used to be, in my previous life as a journalist, I used to be the meat reporter, which means anytime there was a bad crash or a fatal, I'm the one who got to go.
Right.
And I never got numb to it. It always went home with me to the point where there was one, an infant had died, and I went in, wrote the story up, and then said, I'm going home. You want to
Right.
fire me for it?
Right.
I went home, I dragged my kid out of the crib, and I went downstairs, got in the rocking chair, and held him all night. And you do, if you have children and they live in Frewsburg, and you hear
Right.
a call in Frewsburg, you got to call to make sure it wasn't them.
Right.
And especially my son's a fireman out there, so I always am keeping an eye on
Right.
it. But yeah, the things, and when you're a kid, you don't. That's why adults need to be adults, because a kid, here's logic is, this is going to be fun, man. I'm going to go like surfing on the back of this guy's pickup truck or whatever.
It seems like a good idea. Oh, there goes your IFP.
That's all right, we'll leave it. Yeah, I don't know.
Just listening into Tom Reed is a good
I don't remember what through my mind at 16, but I know some of the things I did, so I know it wasn't very intelligent. So I just hope that the young man is fine and recovers, and my prayers to his family.
Absolutely, that's the big takeaway, and you see that with a lot of people who are tuning into our live stream of the Starflight with thoughts and prayers, and that's exactly our sentiment to you. So, I did want to tap in to Tom Reed's conference if we can. Control room.
The good news is that obviously the movement is having an effect. This bringing it out of the darkness, the No More movement that we've been associated with for many years now, is having that exact effect that we're looking for, and that is bringing this out into the open, having policies looked at. I know in the House we've taken action. Hopefully the Senate will follow through on that sooner rather than later in regards to reforms here in D.C., and I think you're seeing it across the entire country. Where folks are feeling more and more comfortable stepping forward, discussing this. And it's also, to me, is a way to educate the next generation to say that this type of behavior is not acceptable. It is not something that is not going to be talked about any longer. It's something to be openly discussed. And as parents and as teachers and as leaders, hopefully we send the right message to that next generation that will ultimately, by doing this, put an end to this cultural issue that has been out there in the dark for many years.
So Tom Reed there talking about sexual assaults and violence, workplace misconduct that's really taken a very big center stage light in many instances. Just last night, Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, as we talked about at the top of the show, accused of wrongdoing,
and in 3 hours resigned.
Right.
So
and whether we and the thing is, you got to be careful because the jury, he's not convicted of anything.
No, the public jury, if you're accused, that's usually enough.
Right.
And that's sad, because if you really want to ruin somebody, make an accusation.
Right.
I don't understand on the one hand how we tend to, when you're young and in love, you cherish women.
Right.
And you respect. I mean, tell somebody their mother's no good and watch what happens.
Right.
We cherish our moms, we cherish our girlfriends, our wives, our sisters, and yet many of us treat them like crap. And I don't understand the dichotomy between I love you, but I'm going to hit you.
Here's the weird thing, or at least to me, as an individual, Schneiderman has prosecuted and taken an amazing stance.
Harvey Weinstein
against misconduct and now there's accusations against him. Now, obviously, if we go into what was specifically said, it sounded like he was just, now pardon me if I offend anyone, but he was just rough in bed.
Well,
right? How far does that go? And we were talking this morning.
Is there a safe word involved?
Right. Or you know, when you go to college nowadays, and I think this is great. I really do. They have seminars that you have to go to, part of your acceptance into the school, that talks about what no means. And no truly does mean no.
Absolutely.
If they say no. But here's the problem with the society we're in now, and that is, how far, when's the stopping point? If you're making out with somebody, right? How far are you going to take it?
Well,
how do you know what they're thinking? You don't.
Women ultimately have the control over all of that.
Right.
Because no does mean no.
Right.
And unfortunately, I think you do get some cases where they say yes and then regret it later, and all of a sudden it's non-consensual.
And we have to be mindful, too, that it is indeed a two-way street. I mean,
Absolutely.
this can happen to men, too.
Absolutely. I just think part of the problem is you're only, speaking in a case of like Schneiderman or Elliot Spitzer or Anthony Weiner, you're only going to get in office the best of what society has.
Right.
So if the apple's rotten inside, it's going to be rotten outside.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's what we have, and these are the best and the brightest, apparently.
Right.
But I don't understand the hypocrisy of taking such a strong stand the Me Too thing that he was involved in.
Right.
And then turning around and being the very thing that he
was
fighting
speaking
against.
out against. Right. And we'll have much more on Congressman Tom Reed's phone conference. I know our Ryan Hedrick is in there. He'll have much more on our website coming up, detailing all of Congressman Tom Reed's thoughts about this. I mean, really, when you think about it, what can he say? You know,
yeah, you can't support it.
No,
I mean,
right.
Ladies, we love you, and we don't want to see this happen to you.
No, and that's honestly the big takeaway for all of this. So thank you for tuning in for us today. Of course, we are back right here again tomorrow. Hopefully Dakota is feeling better.
Adios.